Hey community, it's your girl Auntie Shar, and I'm back, y'all. What's brewing today?
iPhone 14.
Hocus Pocus 2.
And the Woman King. So get your cups ready for Minoritea Report. Hey, welcome to Minoritea Report. It's Auntie Carell.
It's Auntie Dawon.
And it's Auntie Jarrell. Welcome back, Dawon.
She back.
I missed y'all.
Missed
And
you
I missed
too.
the community.
Aw.
Missed you too.
I thought about
boy.
y'all a lot while I was luxuriating through Italy.
Luxuriating in your Speedos. Had them thighs all out. Okay,
Caftan
Funny.
showing chesticle
Had the
and
titties
ab
out.
and-
Yes.
Girl, look. I said, oh, okay.
I was like, that's my friend right there.
Look, I have
I
my
don't care
nose
what
up.
y'all say.
Look, I was over here like, okay, where's
Right.
she at? Okay, boom. Say less. Okay, look, taking all the notes.
and the kicker is I was compelled to add a new photo to my Instagram because I didn't want that to be the only picture, the first picture that was on there when you pull it out. I was like, wait a minute, let me add one more.
Right, so
Mind you, I
let
did
me
that
scoot
today.
this over to the right.
I mean, I was trying to be, tasteful.
Girl.
She was
not-
tasteful,
You knew exactly what you was doing.
I
Right.
mean, just
Look.
Just to let
a
these
little
hoes know
something.
right quick.
She said, tension, get your neck brace ready.
Honey.
Get your neck brace.
I know it was that one, and it was the one where it was just like your thighs and you in the Speedo and had the Chardonnay cup. And I was like,
Yeah.
like this bitch. I know that's right.
And here I go trying to hide that one in like a collection of pictures. But I knew people would be sliding through the.
You knew.
You knew.
You know damn well we be checking for you.
So
I was trying to be slick.
no.
Because I don't do like the thotties. She's Auntie Chardonnay, so she has to have a little decorum.
something. But she said, let me just
You had
throw
to
one
let
in
them
there right
know.
quick. though.
Right,
I had
right.
to let them know.
Just let the children know she still got it, just in case
I
y'all
know
were
that's
wondering.
This what
you know.
this what 4-6 looks like.
Okay.
In case you were
Damn.
curious.
Period. I know that's right. And if y'all ain't seen the community, go out there and check out this. I don't know, like sometimes he be having it on private, sometimes he have it on open.
All right.
He put that shit on open on this vacay though.
Yeah.
He put that shit
Lock
on
that-
open.
And I locked that shit down as soon as I got back. Look, if you're not part of this club, I'm sorry.
Look.
Y'all missed it. Maybe he'll let you. Maybe if you request him, he'll let you in.
Right.
We don't know.
You asked nicely.
Oh Lord, that is too funny. 'Cause like I saw it, and I was like, oh, that shit open. I was like, let me put it on Minority Report. Go ahead and stone on this song. Oh, that's too funny. Oh Lord. Well, welcome back. You got a little tan too. Oh, and before, subscribe, hit the like button, all that stuff. Let's get that out the way. So, and it really does actually help our numbers. We have noticed that, like, as more people come in, it pushes the algorithm out to more folks to find us. So please subscribe if you haven't. Leave us a review and all that
Yes.
good stuff. We'd appreciate it. Thank you. But back to Dawon. So I don't even know where to start because like it's been like a fucking month.
For real though.
Was it? I guess maybe
feel
we'll
so
start
bad.
macro. Did it live up to what you thought it was going to be? What Italy was going to be?
I will say that I was a little bit disappointed by Rome.
Okay.
And the only reason I say that is because I thought Rome was going to be the highlight. So I was in Florence for like about a week, Rome for about 4 days, and then Sardinia for like a week, and then back to Rome and then home. And the whole impetus for the trip was because my best friend had turned 50 in August, and he wanted to celebrate his birthday, not spend his birthday, but celebrate his birthday with his international friends, people from all over, in Sardinia. So we planned a trip around that.
Okay.
And Rome was for me it's going to be like the highlight because it's Rome, it's like Vatican
Yeah.
City, it's the Colosseum, it's the all this, and it was in the middle, and it was dirty. And
You know that says something when you from New York and you say it's dirty.
It was just like I'm huge into like architecture and history and like all the the boring stuff. I was just, as I was going through Rome, I was just a little like not into it.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. I was like, I appreciate the whole experience, but we were only there for like 4 days. 4 days,
That's
3
a
nights,
stunt.
4 3 days.
We
No,
were just in Rome for 4 days.
well, I mean, we were in Florence for a whole 7, so
I know, that's right.
a whole week. And that, if you don't go anywhere else in Italy, like Florence, is it?
Okay.
It's it. It's just it's clean. Number one, the streets are clean.
I'm paved with gold.
The bar is this high right now.
It just honestly, it was really like, it's beautiful, it's romantic, it's quaint, it's almost fairy tale like. It's what you would think of when you think of Italy. It's like cobblestone streets, old, like boulder built buildings, it just, and mixed in with a lot of like new, it's like old buildings, but they're renovated on like the first level, so they look modern, but you get the sense of history and all that kind of stuff.
Were there a lot of tourists there?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, there were quite a few tourists, and the hotel that we stayed in was just like bomb. It was just, it was probably one of the best hotels that I've ever stayed in.
Nice.
It was really, really spectacular.
Okay.
So that was like part of the highlight. Rome was like,
Are you glad that you at least got to Rome to be like, okay, I saw it, but I don't never need to go back?
I ain't got to go back.
Okay, got it.
Okay.
No, I will go back. I will go back to Florence for real. For real, I will go back to Florence in a heartbeat. I don't really have to spend any more time in Rome. I mean, there's so many places in the world to travel to.
Yeah, start.
So why travel back?
Why travel back to a place that's dirty?
Dirty. These old boulders.
Now,
Sardinia was it though. Sardinia was like that. Like we stayed in this like 5-star, like adult only, meaning no children, not meaning like sex. The adult only, meaning no kids. Resort, and it was phenomenal. Like the staff was amazing, the accommodations was amazing, the view was amazing, the private beach was like everything was incredible. So
who was that one man in the picture, like dark complected?
Oh, that's Sergio.
Have I met Sergio?
Oh, nothing about no Sergio.
Sergio with the shoulder. If y'all ain't watching this on YouTube, that's Sergio with the shoulder down. Okay,
Sergio.
He was pretty.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, Sergio's cute.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not insinuating anything.
Right.
No, I know.
Insinuating anything.
It was the cosign. That's
right.
Look.
I was like, that's a pretty man.
Yes.
Speaking of pretty man, so before you left, I had said that I had read an article that it said that Italy had the most attractive men, and you were like, "Oh, I don't think so." So, did you see some cute men while you were out there?
Girl.
So the article was right.
It was, girl. I'm just.
Wow. Okay, then.
Wait a minute, let me take a little shot.
I know that's right. I know that's right.
The man.
Yes.
Gorgeous.
Wow.
Gorgeous. Just gorgeous.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Come on, article.
Yeah.
Okay. Look.
Italy did not disappoint. And
Okay.
ironically, I thought, because the men in Greece, when last year when I took my big vacation, went to Greece, and I was just like, oh, this is going to be it. I'm going to like, I'm gonna lose my whole life, and I'm gonna have to, I'm gonna have to sew up my virginal hole so that
I
it can
know
get
that's
broken
right.
again. Let's get it popping. I found that the men in Italy were way more attractive than
What
the
was
men
it?
that.
What's the attraction for it?
I don't really have a. I don't
Wow,
really
they
have
must
a
be, because Dawon be
answer,
having
because
words. So wow.
there was just. I can't even put it into, like, first of all, from a physical perspective, um everybody was like, not everybody, but most men are just in shape, just
Okay.
natural. And I personally love like natural bodies, not necessarily overbuilt bodies, not like
Yeah.
overly muscular bodies, not like really thin, but like just natural.
Mm-hmm.
And that was part of it. But just like from a facial perspective, just
Okay.
look chiseled. Everybody was just like,
Hey, David.
There's a seat. There's a seat. There's a seat. There's a seat.
just like, girl, even the men that was picking up the trash,
Ooh.
I was like, ooh.
It's like, I'll be a little trashy for the evening.
I may have a 480 credit score that I may let you
I'm
borrow
trash.
a couple hundred of it. Come on now. I know the economy isn't great. So, we might be able to do a little something.
I know that's right.
No, but the men there are really attractive.
Ooh,
Really
okay,
attractive.
then.
Yeah.
So Italy on the list now. Okay.
Italy off the list now.
Because like I never right. Just don't let Fizz hear this episode.
Exactly.
Don't let him hear this episode.
Oh, just skip to 30 minutes in.
Yeah.
What article?
Right.
I didn't even know there was an article out there.
Who said
that? I know that's right. Who said that? Oh,
The men were
man.
gorgeous. I mean, I just, every time I was turning around, like between the waiters and the people at the pool and at the beach and at the restaurants, and like the drivers, like we had a driver that took us from the hotel to one of the piers, and we are going to take this boat ride, and he was like fucking gorgeous with like his septum. I think, what's the thing in between the nose? It's not the septum, but what is it called? I don't know. Anyway, that all pierced, and like everybody had tattoos, and I was just like, oh my goodness, it's just so rough right here.
The sharp fantasy. I'm so here for it. Entire Vogue life. I am so here for it.
That's how I understand like these women who go out to Tuscany and they come back and they they was a 1 and now they got a +1. I was like, I get it.
Yeah,
I get it.
I love it. How was the food? We didn't even touch on the food.
Girl, I ate nothing but spaghetti the entire time. Like, here I was thinking I was gonna like have a culinary experience through the entire thing, and every place I went, I was like,
more pasta, please. More spaghetti.
Spaghetti.
I know that's right.
But the food was amazing. I did a Florentine steak while I was in Florence, which is like it was like a T-bone steak that's kind of like filleted, and it's just, I don't really eat red meat like that, but that was, I mean, that was amazing. That, like, they cooked the shit out of that steak.
Yeah.
I had steak 3 times actually the entire time, and then the rest of the time it was mostly spaghetti. And then we went to a couple of like other kind of like frou-frou kind of places, but it was really more about like I wanted down home, authentic, real, not
Pasta,
super bougie.
Yep.
kind of food or whatever. You know, I mean, I want food that
It's
tastes
like I want somebody's mama making this pasta.
Right. Like, I want to taste the Italian foot in this bitch.
right.
Okay.
Like if your mama don't have a necklace of garlic around her,
Honey,
around her
I
neck,
don't
just
want it.
no, I'm sorry. Not having it.
Oh, I'm glad you enjoyed yourself.
Yeah,
You
it
look
was fun.
relaxed. You got that little
Thank you.
glow going. You got the little sun-kissed tan going right now.
Yeah.
I got a nice little tan line too.
Oh.
It's in one of those picture slides. Like
Right. Let me go. Let me look.
No, I haven't taken any pictures of that yet, but I got a glimpse of it when I was looking at myself in the mirror. I was like, oh,
It was like, ooh.
Oh, she was looking back at it, wasn't
Right.
she? She got back. She was like, oh. This is called a post vacation body.
right. You know that little girl on the salt round box that has the dog pulling her underwear down.
Oh yeah, the
Yes.
Coppertone girl. I know that.
A little practice.
Oh man, well damn.
But it was
I need
fun.
a
It was delightful. Really,
Aw.
really. I feel honor and privilege that I can step away and
Yeah.
you know, thanks to Landon for holding
Yeah.
down when I was gone.
Thank you,
Boo. Really appreciate it. But she back now. So.
She back.
Yes, she back.
I'm ready. I came back ready.
Back in
y'all.
the house.
I know that's right. I know Dawon was like, y'all had all the juicy topics while I was gone.
Oh,
So I was like, I don't know. It was just one.
They were just
few weeks there.
That's just how we go.
it
Right.
was one after another after another.
Oh, it was. Did y'all get the new iPhone, by the way? I know Dawon usually kind of gets a new phone every year. Did you get one?
Was she back in the States when
That's
it
true.
came
She
out?
might not even been back in
Look.
time to pre-order it.
I thought about it. I'm still on the fence. I might
Yeah.
get it though.
I got it.
what
it.
do
You
you
can't
think?
tell no difference.
Yeah.
Like it looks like the last 5 of them.
I like the little docking, the virtual dock at the top.
Yes, the dynamic island, if you will.
Yeah,
that is actually
it
very
is.
cool. That is
Yeah.
very cool. Like, and each day you kind of like see a different thing. You're like, oh, okay, that does that now. So that is the cool thing. Is it worth the $1,000+ that to get this damn phone? I don't know. I would say because like the reason I got it because I usually get it every 2 years. So I had the 12 Plus Pro Max, and the battery was starting to kind of go again. But then I was just thinking after I got this, I was like, I could have just went and got like a new battery put in for like $70 or whatever, and the phone probably would have been fine for another 2 years, honestly. Because so far I don't see too much of a speed difference, slightly, and the cameras have been good for so long anyway that like I haven't seen too much on the camera. So honestly, it's one of those.
The night camera still ain't.
It ain't shit, and it still ain't shit on this one. So it's just like, save your coin. If you like maybe have like a 10R, an 8 or something like that, okay, yeah, you're definitely gonna see something different. But if you have like a 12, 13, you ain't gonna see too much of a difference, honestly.
Yeah, I want to know the reason why I wanted to get
Oh,
that
Lord.
damn phone.
Why you want a girl?
For the dumbest reason. I only wanted the phone just in case if I'm ever stranded somewhere, I can point it at the satellite. And be like,
She want an ET phone home.
I was just like, in case I'm ever a damsel in distress, I just want someone to come help me.
Look, she's like when the next time I go to Palm Springs, I'm about to go out to the desert and test this
Drive to a
motherfucker.
tree.
I'm gonna get
I'm gonna get my money's worth. I'm gonna get myself lost.
But I said it like that.
What's he running around? Help! Running around, hiding behind a cactus.
Look.
I know that's right.
Knowing damn well I don't ever be in no situation where I'm gonna need
That
that help
part of it.
anyway.
That
But
part of it.
that was the only thing that got me. I was like, ooh, well, that's different.
You know, Carell, do you do like the do you buy your phones outright or do you do like the monthly?
Yeah, I buy them outright. And,
See,
and
I
and I was going to trade this one in, or my 12 in. I was like, okay, at least I'm going to get the money to put up towards this one. But one thing that I'm looking forward to when they finally release the update to the Mac OS is you can use your iPhone now as your webcam. So I was thinking, I was like, ooh, it'll be even better for like Minority Report and things like that to use my iPhone for the camera instead of like the webcam and things like that. And so that way, if like, because a lot of times we're always looking up shit while we're on the podcast too. So I was like, okay, I'll keep that phone, use it for the webcam, and then still have my 14 Pro Max here or whatever. But yeah, and I don't think I've ever. I'm trying to think if I've ever traded mine in. I don't think I ever have. No, I don't know why I don't though.
About 4 years ago, I joined the I don't know what they call it, but it's Apple's re-up every year.
Yep.
So basically, you just lease your phone.
Yep.
And that's what I do. So for me, it's no big deal. Like if I get a new phone, like they send me the phone, I put my phone in there, change all my shit, and then send the old one back, and like my payment stays the same. So it doesn't matter like exactly what it is. And every year, if I want to get a new phone, I can. If I don't, then I don't.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'm still on the fence. I'm like, well, you know what? It might not be a bad idea to get a new.
Yeah, I don't trade my phone in either because one, my mama ain't gonna go to the store to go get another one. So literally until this past
they
May,
deliver. They deliver.
tell you,
That's what I do with that.
She don't. Well, she also live in the ghetto too. She live in the hood, so I ain't delivering. I ain't doing that. No, no, ma'am.
That's the other part. That's the other part.
Right, exactly. But literally, she had a 6 Plus until literally this past May.
Oof.
And she was like, "Oh, I'm okay. I'm okay. I don't need a new phone." But she would call me every other day, but like, "I can't save any more photos." Or how come my contacts? Like the phone was just going down. I'm like, "Mama, your phone is old." But they told me in the store that it would last forever. I said, "I don't know what you and this man had talked about, but that ain't how it's going." So obviously,
forever's a mighty short time, Mom.
Okay, okay.
So I literally years. I forgot to tell you.
Look, so I literally was just like, well, do you want my XR? Like I just gave her like one of my old phones because sometimes like I finally got to a place where I was like, if I fuck up my phone, I can buy another phone. Yeah. So I had gotten to the habit of just holding on to a phone, so that way I never had to be like, well, anyone has have a phone I can borrow, for a few days. Because I always hated being that person. So now I don't have to worry about being that person. So I don't have to save these phones. But for the kids and my mom, I'm like, I know that they will not take care of these. So after my 2 years, I have the phone. I paid it off. I just give it to them and be like,
It's crazy though.
She said, "I'm blessed, so I'll bless y'all."
I know that's right.
These trickle down economics.
I know that's right. It's just funny though, like it's like with every release though, and every update to the iOS and things like that, just how much further I am in the Apple like it'd be more impossible damn near to like climb out to say there was the dopest phone ever that comes out tomorrow on Android. It'd be so hard at this point for me to get out, and Apple knows it. That's why they do this shit. For me to get out of it, because just like I have the MacBook Pro, I have an iPad, like it's just like, and everything just works for the most part, not all the time, mostly for the most part together, that it'd be hard to get out of it. It really
it's
would.
The synchronicity for me.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't have all the Apple products. Like I don't have an iPad, I don't have an iWatch. Like I don't need those things. I'm very like, I'm minimalist in the sense that whatever I have, I use.
Yeah.
And I don't just have things just to have them. So, but yeah, like it's the simplicity of how these things work together that really keeps me, keeps me not stuck, but like, wanting to stick with these. Cause like, if I were to change phones out of like an iPhone, I would probably go with like, maybe the Google Google Pixel. It looks really cool, and
and Google's getting smart. They'll start putting Google only features on that phone for a while, and then eventually it'll come to like the iPhone and Samsung and things like that, and like the rest of the Android stuff, which is smart. It gets people to like, oh, I like that feature. I only could get it from Google. Let me go over there.
But I do love when you got your Apple, because I have a work Mac and I have a home Mac, and then I have my iPhone. I got my AirPods, and like when they're just the fact that they're in proximity and it like recognizes oh, such and such is available. Would you like to connect? I'm like, come on now, Magic.
I don't pay attention to phones like
Hogwarts.
that at all whatsoever. Like I pay no attention to phones at all whatsoever. Yeah. Like I was at the PJ Morton concert on Saturday.
Oh damn, I'm jealous. I love PJ Morton with
let me tell you
all of my heart.
The only person I could think about was you.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if he's a church kid, if he's a PK
his dad,
or not.
Yeah, his dad is a pastor and a major gospel star.
Okay, because that explains it, because there was so much church music and like even the DJ beforehand played everything from City Girls to like Kirk Franklin and Mary. Like it was just. And
did they play Drop It Low for Jesus?
No, they didn't play. No,
that song is a whole bop. I'm sorry,
but I mean, they played Juvenile. They played it all though.
Yeah.
But like there were so many church kids in the audience, because when the church songs came up, they all were standing up singing it like they were the choir. And then like even parts of his concert, like he split everyone down in half, and they had left side and right side. And then had us being like his background singers and stuff like that. It was stuff like, and it was just so good. Let me tell you, it was so black too. Then I said, you know what? Me and my friend were like, we're gonna take our asses home, because if we go to a gay bar and we see white people, they're gonna fuck up this vibe. So we literally just decided to take our asses home. We're just gonna go on home, because we were living on such a high. But I said to say, there was this person who had he had an Android camera.
Yeah.
He was filming. And when I tell you that shit looked crystal clear, and I looked at my iPhone, I said,
yeah.
So I put that bitch down. I was like, I want that phone.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then I was like, but I need Apple, so I don't know.
Yeah. Seriously. For me, more than anything, it's the airdrop feature too. Like I airdrop all fucking day, every day. Like creating on the computer and then drop it to my phone to post on IG. Like if I didn't have that feature, oh my God, it would like make editing crazy hard. Like
y'all hear about that story about that someone on that plane dropped all those nude airdrops? Yeah, they airdropped everyone on the plane like some nudes, and they never found out who it was.
Really? How did they not know? Like,
I mean, you got to do a panty check in order to figure it out.
Yeah,
but usually it says, unless he might like change his name of his phone, or whatever, usually it'll say like Carell is airdropping blah blah blah, or Carell's iPhone whatever is dropping whatever. Oh damn! Was it a nice penis though? Was it nice nudes? Was it Italian?
I didn't see the news. But one person said they didn't mind though.
Oh, I know that's right.
I wouldn't.
It's funny.
I wouldn't at all.
It's funny that you bring up PJ Morton, because PJ Morton also is the keyboard player for Maroon 5. So it's funny for him to go so blackety black, and also is the keyboard player for like one of the whitest bands out there too, Maroon 5.
I had no idea he was a keyboard player for Maroon 5.
Yeah. All of that talent is just quote unquote the piano player from Maroon 5. It's wild. Yeah. I'm a fan of PJ Morton. The boy can sing. Yeah.
He just has this whole vibe. He also reshared my story too, and I was like, Hey PJ.
I know you call her PJ.
Hey, how you doing?
Yeah.
No, that was my first time.
So talented.
A friend of mine was in Milan and was like, hey, I forgot I had these tickets. I'm not gonna be able to make anyone I want them. I was like,
wait, he was in Milan? Like, what? Everybody just going places, shit.
Girl,
Milan
right?
And
look, I said, here I am, just over here.
Just staying at home.
Yeah, sure. I'll go to this concert. Yeah, I guess I could do something.
I know that's right. What was Adam Levine in the crowd?
Girl, no. Hopefully his ass was at home. Cause, girl,
he might not want to be there.
So you know how I texted y'all yesterday? I was like,
home.
Look, because I texted y'all yesterday. I was like, ooh, this Adam Levine thing is messy. And then today, for other women to come out talking about like,
there's more women that came. Oh damn.
Oh yeah.
So he just sliding in the DMs. He's going down.
And he had the nerve to lie and be like, I didn't have an affair, but what I did crossed the line. And I was like, so you did it? Because you said you didn't, but you crossed the line. So
yeah.
How dare you though? How dare you Go to your mistress and be like, "Can I name my baby after you?" Though, like that's kind of fucked up.
That's a dope name. Can I name a kid after you?
Look, that pussy was so good. I'm gonna be Jimmy Bell Summer all day. Like,
you know what's the crazy thing in this whole like everything was just crazy, but like that girl has some fucked up friends as well.
okay,
Like to be trying to sell that shit to the tabloids. I'm like, come on, like that's fucked up. But then also for her to get on TikTok and I guess I don't know what other way to try to beat the tabloid. I don't know, but like the whole thing was just messy from all parties involved.
Them LA people are
something else.
Sorry, they are weird. Like some things deserve to be handled at home. And if shit gets messy, it just gets messy. But like people are so thirsty to like
to sell themselves.
Yes, it is just
because she was because and this is not me saying Adam is not responsible. He definitely is. But for her to also say, "Well, I was new here, and I feel like I got taken advantage of my moral standards." Girl, bye. And she's like, now she's like, and I wasn't in the scene, but now that I am, girl, bye.
Girl, bye. Because you in the scene. Who are you? What scene?
And she knew exactly what she was doing because like no one really knew who she was.
Girl, but not even that girl. The Nogan scene.
And who?
Right.
And I feel bad in regard because I'm like Adam Levine's gonna be fine. Like,
yeah, he is.
So like now folks are just gonna look at her crazy,
and
it's just messy.
He basically tried to Christopher Columbus her baby. That's some bullshit right there. That's straight up. Like, come on.
Let me tell you, I would be.
You're Indian.
Right.
Your name is Indian now. Where that spice at?
I'm so done. Dawon back.
Right.
Not with this colonizing bullshit. Come on now.
It's wild. It's wild.
It's a lot. So I mean, yeah. That's it. I ain't got nothing else to say.
I'm thrilled. I am thrilled that the #1 movie in at least in the United States right now is The Woman King, which is shout out to all the beautiful Black, natural haired, dark skinned, delicious women that are out there because it's lovely to see some representation out there and getting all that love. I'm going to go see that movie. Like I haven't seen it yet because she's been trying to like catch up on just being on this side of the world. But I'm that's definitely something I'm going to be seeing probably within the next week. I want to support with my coins.
100%. I'm seeing it this Saturday. No, this Sunday is when I'm going to go see it. Yeah.
Are you guys going to see Bros at all?
I don't think so. No,
I don't think so either. I think I'll wait for it to come on TV.
Yeah.
I've seen actually a lot of positive reviews, like from real critics, like not just like the queers that say that says anything about gay is wonderful and delicious, but also I don't care. I don't care about another, white person hooking up with another white person. Sorry.
See, like I want to support like T.S. Madison and like Miss Lawrence because it looks like they have some prominent roles in here. Like I was just looking at their lives tonight. They were on their way to the premiere there in New York, and I was like, even though I agree, I'm like, it's just gonna be another white kind of rom-com. At least some prominent folks, at least that look like me, are in it, and at least getting somewhat of a chance to be visible and seen. And it looks like the total cast as well was pretty diverse of who they casted outside the lead roles.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie though, Luke Capone is.
Say again.
He's cute. Luke McFarlane.
I remember him. Remember the show Brothers and
from
Sisters?
Brothers and Sisters.
Yeah.
Yes, I remember from then too.
Everyone keep on saying the Hallmark movie. I was like, no, I saw him in something else, and I looked it up the other day.
Yep, that's where I remember him from too. Yep. And he's
fine.
He's fine.
He's aged well.
And white people don't know him to do that, so you know, he doing all right.
Yeah.
So you know, I mean, I kind of want to see him. You know,
that part of
when
it.
he looking at him.
And I do like Billy Eichner. I think he's funny.
No,
I think he's
cannot
funny.
stand that man. He is just like a gay Will Ferrell. That's literally it. And it just drives me insane.
That's actually very.
That's a very
accurate.
very accurate statement. Yeah, I like him. I like him.
Yeah. And make no mistake, I'm not trying to bash the movie because I think I think visibility for queer stories is really important. So I totally get that, but I've seen enough of white people hooking up.
Same.
And I get better stuff through porn. Like not a whole movie. That's an interlude.
It's like, I'll go to Twitter for that.
After seeing that Fire Island movie that came out on Hulu,
I didn't see that.
Oh, I wanted to see that.
It's actually really good, and that's the queer representation that I want to see in movies.
You know what?
Really? Like is Fire? Like I thought that was going to be like a white movie because Fire Island is white.
No, it's Asian.
Well,
I know the lead guy was Asian
but the group that they're in is way more diverse, and it's all about playing into like how because they don't look like the white gays that that they're like the outcasts and navigating those spaces and going to the all white parties and at Fire Island like ooh y'all don't belong here, like you can't. It plays into all of that. Okay. So I actually liked it. I actually liked it.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, still kind of predictable, but for the representation aspect, they nailed some things that I thought was really kind of spot on.
Yeah. It's an hour and 45 minutes on Hulu, so that's perfect. I'm almost on my flight.
So that's why I don't think I can do the
because she just sat in again, y'all. You hear the little where you fit to go? Where you fit to go?
Look, I'm flying to Detroit to go visit my sister and my niece is turning 10. Well, she turns 10 next week. Next week, by the time the episode comes out. So, but we're celebrating her birthday a little bit early, so I'm going to go spend some time with my little 10-year-old niece.
I know that.
Who I shared this before the podcast. I won't go into too many details, but I found out today that my little 10-year-old niece is a thug.
And we'll leave it at that. See, now you don't tease the community. They looking at us like they're like, what the hell is they talking about?
All right, I'm just gonna say it, and because
this is gonna be one of those moments where your niece is gonna be able to go back and be like, "Damn, Uncle, you were just telling my business out there like that,
all my motherfucking business."
Damn.
I'm sorry, community, because obviously aunties know, and it's not like a really, really big thing, but basically, my sister sent in our family text, a family group text. She sent a video of my niece because my niece was in her room playing one of the online games with some of her friends, and my niece is turning 10, so she's 9, right? And just cursing like a sailor. Just this motherfucking nigga. God damn it. Oh, hell no. Just going off on this little game. And when I watched the video, there was just like, as a gunkle, gay uncle for those of you who don't know, as a gunkle, but even just as an uncle, whenever your nieces and nephews get to a certain age when you realize, or get to a certain point when you realize they're not kids anymore. They're not
Yeah.
the sweet innocent, like I'm learning everything new for the very first time and the world is wonderful and da 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 da. I'm like, this little bitch is cynical. Like she can't listen to Beyonce no more.
No more.
She said, "How we gotta nip this in the butt now today."
These motherfuckers don't.
Right.
These motherfuckers ain't stopping me.
That's funny.
Oh my god!
Oh.
So it's just like I was a little piece of me just like was heartbroken in a sense, but then I was like thinking back to when I was 10 years old. And like, yeah, I was cussing up a storm too. So
I'm so here for it. Oh Lord,
this motherfucker didn't
This
kill me.
motherfucker.
Like what?
Done. Done.
And the thing of it is, y'all have seen, for those of you that that are connected with me on Instagram and whatnot, you've seen pictures of my niece. She is like cotton candy.
Yeah.
Like, and she's her how she speaks is like very soft. She doesn't raise her voice. She isn't excitable or whatever. She's very like, like
Cool, calm, and collected.
right, very Blue Ivy. Like,
Right.
Mom.
Right.
And so it's just shocking.
Ooh,
Like when the doors is closed.
honey, when that video game turned
Stop
on.
it.
Right.
Like, oh my goodness, where did this come from?
I know that's
Meanwhile,
right.
this is a podcast. You know
Honey.
exactly where that shit came from.
Honey.
Right.
No lies. All right, well, on that note, we'll take a quick little tea break. We interrupt this episode for very important information.
That's right. You've been asking for it for a long time, and we have heard you.
Yep, it's been a long time coming, but it's finally here.
Yo,
Aunties got
merch! Hey! That's right. You know what? We got tees, we got long tees, we got sweatshirts, we got fanny packs, there's just a whole gamut of stuff out there, so go and check that out.
We are so appreciative of your love and support, and we are so excited to launch it. Girl, where can we find us at?
Ma'am, they can head right over to minorityReport.com to check out the selection.
That's right. That's MINORITEA report.com.
Woo! I'm about to go get me some myself. Alrighty, ladies. What time is it?
Ask your
auntie.
Alright, who has it?
I can read it. Or do you want to read it since you've been gone for a while?
That's true.
Yeah, sure, I'll do that.
Yes.
Aunties, what's your perspective on saying the N-word around your non-white partner or significant other?
Or it
My
should probably
husband-
say your white partner. Yeah,
Oh.
that person actually sent a rebuttal. He said
Got
it's
it.
supposed to say white.
around your white.
There you go.
Okay,
My
so
bad.
let's rewind that.
Because they were about to get their ass beat.
Right.
Aunties, what's your perspective on saying the N-word around your white partner or significant other? My husband doesn't like it when I say it, and we've had a few conversations over the years about how I have agency to say the word as I please. Out of respect, I try not to say it, but when I'm around my friends or talking on the phone, I definitely say it more. I'm curious about how each of you have managed this in your relationships.
Drew, you look like you got something to say.
Ooh, let me say, a couple of years ago, we've had to have a conversation about it, and the conversation was just straight up. I'm not going to police you on who you is, and you're not going to police me on who I am. So if there's something about it that makes you uncomfortable, that means that there's some more learning that you have to understand, and you need to educate yourself on why it's okay for me. And I ain't your teacher. So either you fix it or that's it. I mean, it was just that black and white. I get how it can make some people feel uncomfortable, but if you're uncomfortable, that means you're not understanding where it originates from, and us as black folks, and you're not giving us the respect that we deserve when it comes to, claiming that word again and using it in ways that we feel comfortable using it.
Mhm.
I will say though that when I'm around my wife, it's nigga this, nigga that, nigga. And now he's just like, okay, yeah, all right. So I don't know. I am not going to censor myself, especially being Black, and something that a lot of Black folks do, which is use, say nigga, just to make another white person feel comfortable. That I'm not doing that, So, yeah.
Yeah, like
What do you think, bro?
I don't use it that often. Like I use it here and there, and a lot of times it's kind of like emphasis on the wrong syllable. It's like sometimes you just gotta say nigga, like shit, like or But I honestly, it's not a word that I use too prevalently. But again, like, and I'm trying to think, like, and I'm sure Corey and I have had a conversation around it, but like at this point, it's probably so long ago that I don't even think about it no more, really. And he knows it's like a word that I don't use that frequently, so it doesn't really come up that often. But it's a word reclaimed, and I get even for some Black folks that it's still a trauma filled word, and there are Black folks in the community that don't like using that word and don't like the prevalency of that word in music and movies and conversation. And I say that, like, at least that's warranted in our community, though. There might be some that don't like it. There might be some that don't mind it. But it's for us to figure out. And for us to, like, claim that word back, because it was such a nasty word for so long. And now we're like, you know what? We're going to try to take this power out of this word and mean it as a friend, as honey, as whatever, and things like that. But if your significant other doesn't feel comfortable while you use it with your Black friends, that's something they need to figure out why they feel that uncomfortable. And maybe it might be because it's a good thing that they're like, I think I know the power of that word. However, just have several seats. Let us do what we do, and it is what it is, kind of thing. I appreciate your concern. However, go have several seats. Let us Black folk do what we do.
Right. Leave the room. Excuse yourself.
Yeah. So and I get it, and sometimes I definitely like am conscious of it, like out of maybe a respect level of the conversation, if it makes it, because ultimately I don't want my husband uncomfortable, but when it comes down to it, if I felt like in that conversation I need to say it, I'm gonna say it, because it's a word in our community that we've taken over and utilized the way we see fit. So, what do you think of Dawon?
Not somebody white trying to police our language.
Thank you.
Like, I don't give a damn if you're uncomfortable. Guess what? That's called privilege. Yeah. We got it too. Yeah. And the privilege is we can use that word and you can. And if it makes you uncomfortable, oh well.
Sorry, your history makes you feel guilty.
Well. Like, I can
sorry y'all made this word up in the past to make us try to feel less than.
Right. Christopher Columbus. Like, I get the sentiment of this and whatnot, but as a Black person, part of our agency, part of our right is, the reclaiming of that word, and you are not part of that group. And if that makes you uncomfortable, well, settle into your uncomfortability. Yeah. Because we've been sitting uncomfortable and we stay uncomfortable for a lot of things that we don't like, that ain't changing. Yeah. And I also need to say that there is a difference between using the GA and the GER.
That part.
So there's a very big difference, and if you listen to our music, you listen to what we say to one another, we don't use the ER. We do GA. So there is a little bit of a difference. And I get listed as the HR guy and blah blah blah. That stuff has no place within the context of a relationship. And if a partner is uncomfortable with with their Black partner using a word that is that Black person who's part of the Black community is comfortable using, there's no debate. So you just gonna have to sit. As far as I'm concerned, you're gonna have to sit in your uncomfortability with that.
And I'm gonna hop back on my phone and be like, "So nigga, guess what?"
Right. Guess what this nigga said? This nigga had the nerve to say to me.
Matter of fact, I'm gonna change your name in my phone.
Right.
Like,
okay.
Get out of here with that.
Guess what?
And like you're not gonna woke awake me. What you're not gonna do is woke awake me. Woke and awake your white friends on the other things that they're doing above and beyond the use of this word that we have reappropriated for our own purposes that you are not allowed to appropriate. So there are other things. There are a whole lot of other things in the world that you can be mad about, but this. Don't be spending energy on that. That's a misplacement of a lot of good energy.
Right. You mad? Guess what? Now you a nigga too.
I'm done with you.
You're gonna have to bleep all this shit out.
Look, all these clips are gonna be like IG about to be real, man.
that nigga gonna be like, what in the shit in the fuck is going on? We're gonna have to title this Gutter Mouth. This whole episode.
For real though.
Oh Lord, continue.
Instead of Sega, it's nigga.
Right.
I'm just honestly like in my mind's eye, I'm trying to understand the conversation that must have happened that led up to this kind of a question, because I find it. I'm partially offended. like, who in the hell would someone who's not black tell someone who is black that they are uncomfortable with the black person using a word that is part of our vernacular? That would be like a straight person saying, "I feel uncomfortable when you say queer."
Yeah.
And
right. Look, we say we be uncomfortable. Y'all put raisins in your potato salad, and you still do it anyways.
Wait.
Oh, God, they gonna call us racist. Keyword, they gonna call us a racist for that again. Y'all saw that comment? Or continue to see your ask your auntie to ay@minoritetyreport.com or DM us. So last week's episode, we were just talking about the Black Little Mermaid. And so I put that clip up just saying, we could tell you lack creativity. We could tell by your music and your cooking and your dancing. Somebody was mad at your aunties in the comments. They're like, well, y'all racist and da. And I was like, okay. Well, I don't know what you want me to say. Like, I'm not about to.
And I would have responded and be like, and can you cook? What your food tastes like?
What your music sound like?
What's your music sound like? What you listening to?
Not the audacity for black people to reclaim some shit that was ours to begin with. Damn. Get out of here with that mess.
That's gonna be big, man. Dawon, your homegirl, she re-releasing the 25th anniversary of Honey or Butterfly album.
And she's releasing, from what I read, she's releasing she's remaking We Belong Together. Yeah, so I'm like really curious because like that instrumental was
like, that was a pretty damn perfect song. So it's like, how you gonna better it with today's voice?
Don't even. Not with today's voice.
Don't even. And can still sing a lot.
No, she can still sing everybody under the bleachers, but
yes. So I'm sure she's
not the 2005 version of yourself though.
Moving on. And she's releasing a song that she had made back in like the early 90s, like 96, 97 or whatever. That's like a grunge. It's like a
Yeah.
grunge song. So I'm very curious about, apparently she made an album that was like soft grunge-esque or whatever, and like grunge rock or something like that, alternative rock. And but something happened with the masters or whatever, they got lost or whatever, and they
Tommy
never
Mottola
released.
said, "Fuck that shit. Get back to singing." Do, 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 do.
That shit went out the door when she ran out. When she ran out
Honey.
the door, like, you ain't seeing a lot. This,
Right.
These are my tapes now. But apparently, one of the records, somebody found them. Somebody that was the inner circle found one of the records, so she's going to release. So I'm very curious this year. I'm really curious to hear like what that sounds like.
Yeah. No, I joke on Mariah Carey. I love Mariah Carey. Like, she's in my top 5 divas. So like, but I'm glad to see that she's still putting out music, honestly.
Yeah.
And it's about to get to that time of year for Mariah Carey season anyway. So like, she about to have the whole Q4.
Do you think that there was shade in the fact that she was not mentioned in Beyonce's like rat-a-tat-tat of all of these, Black women, especially singers that have contributed to the diaspora of musicality? Do you feel like there was shade with that?
Like, and I feel like we talked about, maybe you were gone,
Yeah,
maybe
we
Lena was
did.
on here.
Mm-hmm.
I forget. I don't know. I don't know, honestly.
Because you don't see them together. You don't
No.
they don't talk about each other. So you never hear any animosity. I'm just like,
I feel like there might not be, because Kelly Rowland loves her some Mariah Carey. Like, she brings up Mariah Carey all the time in her interviews. So I would assume there probably isn't animosity, and there just wasn't a word, the rhyme of Mariah. But she was able to find every other kind of rhyme or word. So I don't know. It is kind of weird.
And she added Grace Jones in there about 45 times.
Well,
and
I think
did
that-
a track with Grace Jones.
Well, I think that was the petty moment of the whole song. That, Beyonce be very intentional. So part of me is just like, maybe there is something we just don't know for her not to throw her in there.
That's what I was.
Beyonce
I was
be
just
very
wondering.
intentional with her words.
And I was also very curious. Like, speaking of Grace Jones, since I brought it up,
Yeah.
I was also very curious about like, how did that come about? Like, to include Grace Jones into a record, right, is such a throwback. Grace Jones is what, damn near 70, if not
yeah.
plus. So like, and don't get me wrong, like I love it, but I'm very curious about how that.
Let's see.
Did she go to France and meet up with her at like some function or whatever? It's like, we got to do something. Would you be interested in coming and laying down some tracks and da 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 da? Like, I would be very curious to know how that came about, because that is just such a throwback. Because Grace Jones hadn't been particularly releasing music in the U.S., since the 70s or 80s, excuse me.
Right. And there was something, and I'm trying to find the article quick here, where they actually asked Grace Jones, like, okay, how did this come along? Because there was a moment where Grace Jones, probably like a decade ago, was just saying, like, everybody sounded like me and not giving me the credit. And so, and I'm trying to find, like, why she decided to at least do it this time. I mean, I can't find it real quick. I'll find it by the end of the episode. But yeah, I mean, if I recall right from the article, it was just like Beyonce reached out to her and just said, hey, no, I do adore you, giving her flowers. And Grace Jones' rebuttal was just like, if I'm going to do this, I want to sound like myself. I don't want to be Beyonce. I don't want to be anything like that. So don't tell me how to sound or to be. And Beyonce agreed. And so the rest is history kind of thing. Yeah.
I fucking love Grace Jones.
Yeah.
Like everything that she is, just like one of those people that I admire, the fact that as a Black West Indian woman, she has always like walked to her own beat of her drum. I don't know if I'm saying that euphemism right, but she's always been her own individualistic person. And the fact that she's had such an incredible singing career, acting career, just like being this phenom. I absolutely love her, and I'm so thankful that Beyonce used her platform to give her a little bit more exposure, or at least expose other younger people to who Grace Jones is, because they're probably like, who the hell is this Grace Jones chick?
Yeah, I'm sure a lot of kids
like
now
Jarrell, like
No,
asking who does Anita Baker.
You know who Grace Jones
No,
is,
you know
Jarrell?
what we asking is where the fuck is these visuals at? We don't give a fuck about any of that. The
That's
real
true,
question
that's
we give
true.
a fuck about is where the fuck are these visuals,
That is a
and
true
how we hear
statement.
about her putting 12 more songs out there, talking like registering 12 more songs out there as well too, and we still ain't got no damn visuals. I don't.
Like Grace Jones said, I know Beyonce from many years ago, so it's coming from a church place. Jones said, mentioning her brother who's a bishop in LA. This wasn't a case of magnified star power. It was like, will you bless me with your voice on this? She's a beautiful person, a beautiful talent. And she kind of left it at there. But I can't find the full article this quick on how she kind of said the rest of it. But
I
yeah,
love that.
and Grace Jones is probably one that doesn't get her just due as much as a lot of black artists from that era. Because, you know, if you look back, there were some huge black stars in that era, from the Grace Jones, the Donnas, the Lionels, you know, the Michaels. And Grace kind of gets swept aside a little bit for the trailblazing talent that she is and was then, even, you know. So I'm glad that
what's
Beyonce
one of her songs?
Visibly androgynous.
Pull up to my bumper, baby.
Yes.
You know a lot. You've either heard songs like her actual songs, or you've heard a lot of people sample her songs and didn't even realize it was like a Grace Jones song. Okay. So, but yeah, so I agree though, Jarrell. Where are these damn visuals? Like, come on. Before we get out of here, too, y'all see the whole thing that's going down in Texas about PrEP and how they're saying PrEP is against religious liberties, or I forget the terminology they utilize, that a judge let that case go through. And it's the guy that brought this case is the same guy that's done a lot of just overturning of a lot of just rights of all people except white people. This is insanity. This is just another attack on the gay community. And again, we're the ones caring about our community and trying to live and trying to do the right thing and trying to, you know, and people just won't let us live. like it's so bizarre to me that you're this bothered to take away medication from folks that shows works. What do you think of
Girl? Just white people need to just leave us alone. Damn. Real, like, y'all stay bothered everywhere you go. Everywhere you go, you want to be in everybody else's business because your life is miserable. Ooh. Like, get out of here. It's exhausting.
It really is. And it's crazy because, you know, like, we still can't donate blood, but, you know, we have things like PrEP to also protect our community, protect ourselves from HIV and AIDS. And now, as of 2022, there are more straight people with HIV and AIDS than there are in the queer community.
Yeah.
You would think they would take notes and be like, oh, maybe we should do the same thing. Getting rid of it is not the answer.
No.
But this is also just a these are the repercussions for not getting involved in local elections.
100%.
Because the reason why a lot of these things are being overturned is because there have been judge appointments that have at the local level that have swayed to a much more conservative slant, so that when these kinds of legal battles are being brought before the Supreme Court at the local level, not at the Supreme Court at the local level, but not at the federal level, right. At the state level, I should say, there's a much more likelihood that they'll get overturned. And that's the strategy. That's the long game. And so, you know, like, when people are not paying attention to, you know, local elections and, you know, like, and Congress seats and other things that are happening at a much more local level, this is what ends up happening.
Because
this is a trickle down. And so now we got to spend the next next 12 years
That part of it.
trying to undo a lot of this stuff. And then people complain that we're not able to get, progressive legislation through. And that's because we got to fix all the bullshit that we have that needs to be overturned just to get us back to square one. Or square negative 22.
That part of it. U.S. District Judge Reed O'Connor, his ruling, and he's in Fort Worth, Texas, says it could threaten access to sexual and reproductive health care for more than 150 million working Americans on employer-sponsored health care plans. And it says the federal judge in Fort Worth agreed Wednesday with, and this is obviously a couple weeks ago, with a group of Christian conservatives that the Affordable Care Act requirements to cover HIV preventative drugs violates their religious freedom. So this is, again, like a couple episodes just saying how white folks have consistently utilized like religion to weaponize their what they want to do. They say, oh, we don't think God's gonna like this, so guess what? We're gonna do this, and it's insanity. And right now, today, the day we're recording is the National Registration Day, like to make sure you're registered to vote. Yeah. And I know there's a lot of states now is coming up to these deadlines to make sure that you are on the books still to register to be able to vote in your area. Yeah. And then if you haven't registered, please register. I know it gets annoying sometimes to stand in these lines and things like that. It is what it is, because we can't be mad on one hand and then do nothing on the other. And this is our opportunity to utilize our voice, our protected voices. They'll try to take these away too. They already starting. So while we have a voice, motherfucker, use that damn voice. Because because we finally this year get PrEP for free. They finally get it that way. And the second Biden's administration did this, you see what happens. They're trying to flip it already that quickly. So I agree with you.
And let me just correct what I said earlier, because it's not all. I don't want to paint this picture like all white people this, all white people that. Like specifically with political issues, it's right. What I can't even
white right wing,
right wing conservative Christians more specifically that are driving these agendas. And what's frustrating is that there are a lot of people that are part of either the Black community, our community, or the queer community, our community, who are potentially single issue voters, or legacy voters who they vote Republican because that's how their family votes and that's what they grew up with and whatever. And the conversations that we were having at the last election cycle, the presidential election cycle, well, there was a lot of people that's like, oh yeah, well, you know what, just because I vote Republican doesn't mean that that's going to impact this, that, and the other. I'm just voting because I'm voting because I want a better economy, and which is bullshit, because it's the Republicans that fuck up the economy every single election cycle, and then Democrats have to come in and fix that shit every single time. But that's not the point. The point of it is that this just goes to show how stubborn and pig-headed some people are with regards to their vote, and that they choose to ignore things that are, I'm not even going to say plain as day, but that history itself has proven time and time again that when Republicans get into a position of power, what ends up happening is rights of the disenfranchised continue to be stripped away. Whatever advancement is made starts to be chipped away. And then once we have a Democrat in power, then we start to try to rebuild some of that. So I hope that this kind of like, as these things are happening, I hope that people who have casted their Republican votes start to really, really question, what are you voting for? And who are you voting for? Because it ain't for us.
And that goes for some white gays within the community, because
absolutely,
like I've heard
and Black gays in our
community too, where they find a way to justify probably their guilt, honestly, of voting the way they do. And I've heard conversations where I'm like, you tripping if you don't think at the end of the day that they find out you a minority as well, that they ain't gonna strip something away from you, and it's gonna be too late by that point. We're trying to tell you what they're doing. We see it in the news daily, and for you to be like, oh well, I still see the da da da. Okay, girl. We'll see then, because your ass gonna be crying here in next year when they strip something else that actually does affect your privilege.
But you know what though, is most of those are, you know, non-melanated people, you know, and so they have, at least to some degree, some type of privilege at the end of the day, even if those type of things get you know, taken away. And it's sad because that's what's still giving them, I don't know, what's the word I'm looking for, kind of like that. That's why they're okay with it, because they still have something to fall back. That's their safety net at the end of the day. They're not completely losing all of their identity because they have that little bit of privilege that can still go a long way compared to what melanated and people of color will not have in the queer community. And I also have to say one other thing on a side note, which I'm surprised I'm saying this. I was actually really impressed with Instagram today because they started doing those push notifications saying, hey, elections coming up. Are you still registered to vote? Please click here. And it takes you to the website where you can go and still make sure that you're registered and where you're living. Like, oh, do you still live in Seattle, Washington? Oh, do you still know if you're a registered vote? Hey, just click this button. And it made it really freaking easy, which I'm surprised because, you know, because Instagram's part of Meta, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and they're normally not, they're known to not do anything.
You're right.
So I was actually, it was like, good. Finally. Something. But
so please double check that you've registered. And if you're not, register. Like, come on.
Can we somehow probably start putting like the URL in the description or something like that? Can we, of where people can go and find, you know, where to get registered?
Are y'all ready for fall?
Hell yeah.
I'm
tired of sucking it in. I am tired of sucking it in, bitch. Let me tell you, I want to be back in these hoodies, these baggy clothes. Girl.
I'm not really ready for summer to be over, but I'm also kind of excited about, like, now that it's, I mean, listen, by the time this airs, this will be the, you know, the last week of September, the last full week of September. And it's hard to believe that October's right around the corner. And I can remember literally like it was last week changing over my closet wardrobe to like short sleeve shirts and like things that are much more loose, and putting all my sweaters away and like folding up all my jeans and putting those away and getting out my shorts and like just de-winterizing. And like now I'm like, I gotta pull them sweaters out. Like, damn, I just put these motherfuckers away.
All right.
Let me tell you, she is up 8 pounds. She is ready to layer the fuck up. None of my pants fit right now. I actually just broke the zipper on one of them today. It's
if you don't know nothing else in this 190 episodes, you know Jarrell gonna tear up some pants.
And you too.
I haven't done it in a while. Okay. But you're right.
Good for you, boo. Yeah.
Because, you know, I haven't really done too much since COVID, because like I was in like shorts for the last 2.5 years. So it might be due time now that I'm going back into
right
the
now.
office.
She's going to the office. Just wait. She
walking up that damn hill.
Got me.
Walk up these damn hills in here in Philly. You're right. I'm gonna come back next week. Like, okay, I spoke too soon.
I'm literally trying to think about like the wardrobe, because like I still work from home 100% of the time.
Yeah.
And so, you know, I'm not going. All I got to do is throw on a polo, and I could be, you know, butt ass naked, and won't nobody know any difference. But I'm like, I kind of want to like clean out my closet and buy a bunch of new stuff for fall. But I'm like, where the fuck am I going? I ain't going nowhere.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah.
That's the tough thing, because like I don't have an office to go to, so it's like, you know, am I gonna do all this work just to, you know, sit down and, you know,
That's one of the nice things.
I'm sure you'll find a couple ways to wear it though.
Yeah.
Oh, I will find a way to wear an outfit.
She said, "I will sit in this living room with my glass Chardonnay by myself."
Right. Take that picture, post it on IG right quick.
Right.
Take that motherfucker right off.
You know what? Honestly, I haven't done a lot of outfits of the day at all.
You haven't?
So
Wow.
I haven't.
Wow.
It's just
That's
No
good.
longer
Because that
daily
means you've been
Dawon,
in
it's
these
yearly
streets.
Dawon.
You've been living your life.
right. I know, right? Monthly.
Monthly Dawon.
Monthly.
Yeah, I think I've lost the brand
Right.
identity.
Right? It's like,
It's not Daily
shit.
Dawon anymore.
Because that's that throwback to like Chicago days.
Yes.
She used to take that picture every day in that mirror. That same pose.
Every day for I think it was like every day for like 4 years. Every single day I took my outfit of the day photo with the same pose, no matter where I was.
Yeah.
Every single day. And
Because where did it stop? Was it New York? I'm trying to recall.
When I moved to New York.
It was when you
When I
moved to New York.
when I moved to New York. Yeah. I was just like the social experiment, the novelty of the social experiment of am I committed to doing this every single day?
Yeah.
The novelty of that wore off for me. And also it felt like when I looked at my Instagram or when I shared it with other people, it felt very like self-absorbed.
Okay.
Even though that wasn't my intent,
Yeah.
because it's not like I have like a gazillion followers or anything like that and whatnot, but it felt very self-absorbed in a weird to me.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't want to give people like the wrong impression that like
This
I'm
is
like
the only
all
thing I
about,
care about.
right?
Yeah.
So I wanted my IG to be a little bit more broader.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
but I do miss like
I miss the pose.
outfits. I miss I miss the pose, and I miss
You still
like
kind of give it to us
outfits
here
and
and there,
stuff.
like, and maybe it's
Every
like
once in a while.
maybe it's in the stories too. Sometimes more than even the actual.
It's more in the stories than it is on my IG, I think.
Yeah.
But part of that is like I'm wearing sweats every day for the most part.
Right now.
T-shirt and like sweats, so it's just like
Yeah.
there's nobody trying to see these ashy knees.
Yeah, like I don't know. I'm
Not
not
me checking. Not me checking down, being like,
oh yeah, they is ashy.
she had on pants today.
Right.
Yeah.
That's funny. Yeah, because Jarrell's showing up, he's sitting there butt ass naked damn near.
Right?
Oh man. But I was about to say something in that regard. I lost it that quick. Puerto Rico, we see you.
Yeah.
Damn.
And Dominican Republic and the Dominican Republic, because they hit
now,
Dominican
yeah.
Republic shortly thereafter.
It's like, damn, like, and it's crazy that it was almost like to the day of like Hurricane Maria, in 2017. So I'm hoping this government, this regime does a little better job at responding than old boy did 5 years ago. We see you, and it's tough, like, because to have the whole island without power, like, and there's like, you're part of the U.S., but you're not part of the U.S., and you kind of almost just feel neglected all the damn time, so that sucks to feel that way. So whatever we see that could to help, we'll post in community. If you see anything that goes directly to the local folks there in Puerto Rico, let us know. But I couldn't let this episode go by without saying, Puerto Rico, we see you. And then Hocus Pocus comes out. Hocus Pocus 2 comes out this week. So y'all gonna watch that? Are y'all a Hocus Pocus fan?
Okay. I am. I'm gonna watch it. I love my Sanders and Sisters. Yeah.
Right? It'll be interesting how much they play off the first one and how much of it is like, because it gets tough, especially this long. When you do a sequel, you almost feel like it has to be literally the same movie again because everybody love, like, I guess a spell on you and all that stuff. That it's like, I hope they find new jokes and new ways to keep it fresh. And then, yes, maybe poke at your history of it, but we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see.
I mean, honestly, like, I'm planning on this being more for the children and not to us. Okay. Although as much as I really want it to be geared to us because we're the reason why there's a Hocus Pocus 2 to begin with. But I have a complete feeling that it's going to be more so catered to like the young generation. I already saw one clip and of what they use from brooms, and I was like, "Oh shit, here we go."
It's updated.
Yeah, and
not
that
what they
somebody on a
use.
Roomba.
yes,
Somebody,
yes,
like a
bitch.
Dyson. Yeah, like
Yes.
a Dyson and a Roomba.
Literally. One had a
Oh my
one had a
God.
broom, one had a Swiffer duster, and the other was
A
on two
Swiffer
Roombas.
duster.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
So
We'll see.
yeah, I was
but
like,
Who do
okay.
they like? It makes you wonder who do they have in the room that's like, because they do tests. They test these with audiences and to get feedback and blah 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 blah. It's like, who the hell was in the rooms? It's like, oh yeah, this is it. That's
This is it.
That's just the thing.
Well, you know damn well a kid ain't gonna no child gonna know what a mop is. Like we know what a mop is.
Yeah. And I was grossed out by mops even then.
Yeah.
Like I just
Or a
thought mops were
vacuum
so
for the
nasty.
most part, because that was what she wrote. One of the sisters wrote that was an actual vacuum that you plugged up. So the kids don't know about that. That's why it makes sense.
Yeah.
That's why I think it's going to be geared to the younger generation based off of the little things that they know.
Yeah. And rightfully so. I guess it's been 30 years since the first one, so I guess it's
not 30 years.
It's been damn near 30 years. It was
so
maybe 25 years.
Yeah, so I want to say 25 because I was still.
I mean, that's not that much of a difference.
That's what I was thinking.
Like,
Damn near.
I was at least I know I was at least 10 when that movie came out.
Let's see here. Hocus Pocus.
Yeah.
Came out in 93. So 29 years.
Damn. 93?
Yeah.
Oh shit. I thought it was a lot older than that. Damn. I was really 5 years old watching that movie.
July 16th of 1993. So damn near 30 years ago. So
damn,
I guess
that's wild.
That was July. That was
July
July
16th of 1993.
Wow. That was in between my junior and senior year at high school.
How old was I? I was 9 when that came out. So I don't know what grade that is. I was saying motherfucker and damn and shit on video games.
Right, exactly.
And on that note, community, stay safe out there. Continue to wash your hands, your legs, and your ass, and we'll see you next week.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, y'all.